The timely implementation of Sendai framework will be key in the overall achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Sendai framework need to be mainstreamed in our respective national program on disaster risk reduction. In fact, we have progressively, with our limited resources, developed our capacity to reconstruct infrastructure and restore essential utility services so that in the aftermath of disasters, the economic machinery is back on track very rapidly. A National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act was promulgated this year, whereby clearly defining the roles and responsibilities of all key actors involved in DRR management responsibilities. Past events and past threats call for the needs to integrate climate change adaptation, DRR, and management strategies. In this endeavor, Mauritius is investing more in climate-resilient infrastructure, such as improved drainage systems, elevated roads, and larger reservoirs. In fact, Mauritius is investing more than 2% of its GDP, that is approximately $230 million annually on climate change. Once more this year, the national budget has provided for a series of measures in the field of renewable energy, sustainable transport, smart agriculture, ocean economy and water.
From the SADC standpoint, we cannot overemphasize the critical importance of DRR to our region. As you are all aware, the SADC region is in the middle of responding to El Nino induced drought following the depressed seasonal rainfall performance in the year 2015. This drought has affected around 41 million people of the region's 257 million citizens. So there will be never an ideal time than now for the SADC region to host such a critical continental event focusing on disaster risk reduction.
As you meet here this week to decide on concrete steps to reduce disaster risk and minimize disaster losses, there are some 70 million people across the continent struggling to cope and to feed their families. Drought actually affects Africa more than any other continent. 136 major drought events have been recorded in Africa, and this is just over the last 20 years. And this underlines the fact that the work of disaster risk reduction is absolutely vital to the overall success of the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, including the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement on climate change. Action at the local level will be key, and the first deadline of the Sendai framework is 2020, by which time we need to see a substantial increase in both national and local plans for disaster risk reduction.